program. I'm going to walk you through kind of the evening so you know what to expect. It's pretty simple. It's going to be about 40-45 minutes or so, so we're going to just try to cover briefly all the top level information that we can with you, and then also provide for you time after the 45-minute meeting to connect with your coaches as well. We've got all the coaches from our fall sports represented here tonight, and that'll allow about 30 minutes or less time, not to get an in-depth personal connection with them, but more a chance if you have any top level questions, you want to shake a hand, you want to meet them, anything along those lines will be done after this meeting. So real quick, we're just going to cover what the fall sports are. We're going to get a chance to meet the coaches. Then I want to introduce you to the athletic team that we work with here as well. And then we're going to cover some nuts and bolts, that, like we want to call it, some technology issues that you guys can use, some opportunities there, some things about transfers and eligibility. Also, we're going to be talking about the Cayman Way as well, which is really the nuts and bolts of how our program is run. It's really how the school, the philosophy of how we like to comport ourselves and how we like to behave as a school, as coaches, as parents, as a student body. We'll cover that as well. And then we'll talk about just the roles of the parents, roles of the coaches, roles of the athletes as well. Some do's and don'ts that we'll cover with some little bit of fundraising information. And like I said, we will close up after that with a chance to connect with the coaches in some breakout spaces. But let me just kind of give a quick recap of this year. This year's been a year, like you guys know, unlike any other in the history of sports. You know, for most of the year, we thought there would be no sports, and our hearts were broken. So we were prepping for the year to come and really trying to make the best out of a very tough situation. But fortunately enough, that we got word that, hey, CIF sports were going to come out. And then at that point, we didn't know what sports were going to happen. And eventually, the gate was opened up for every sport to happen. So within a day's notice, we had to figure out, hey, how's this going to look? We had to figure out coaching staffs. We also had to figure out venues. And a lot of venues that we use, as you guys know, we don't have facilities here on campus. And so a lot of the venues were still closed, so it was just a day by day trying to figure things out. And so the ultimate goal for us this year was really, from all the coaches, was this: let the kids have fun. Let the kids enjoy this, because so much that was taken away due to COVID, that we really wanted to maximize the fun. And we did that. As I went around and visited every sport in some capacity, I saw kids smiling, I saw kids competing, I saw kids making memories. So obviously everybody here is a big believer in sports. So we were really, really able to maximize that this year. That being said, it also was really kind of, I think, a record-setting year with winning title after title in different sports that really, it was amazing. And so not only did we have fun, but we have some teams still competing in playoff, making deep playoff runs. And like I said, winning some league titles in areas that we thought we never would. So it's also been a great, great season of not only having fun and making memories, but also doing really, really well with our sports program as well. So that's due to really the leadership that we've got here from the top down, and our coaches and the parents' involvement and the student athletes that we have here. So it was a great year. But right now I'd like to invite all the head coaches of our fall sports to come on up real quick, so I'll give them a chance to introduce themselves and say a quick hi, so you can meet with them afterwards. So all our fall coaches, please come forward. Nobody clapped for me, but coaches, you guys got to clap. I'll remember that, guys. Great, I'll start here with Coach Josiah. Just give yourself a quick intro, let them know what you're about, and pass the mic, brother.
Alrighty, I'm Coach Josiah. I've been in Escondido pretty much my whole life, a little bit in Hawaii. Football runs my family. My dad was a head football coach as well. And I'm excited to be going off into this endeavor with a couple of my best friends. They're also Polynesian brothers, so we're going to have some Hawaiian fun out there.
I'm Bridget. I am the volleyball head coach, and this is going to be my 4th year here at Classical, and excited to meet all the new faces.
My name is JW. I'm the head boys water polo coach. I'm just wrapping up my 3rd year with Classical Academy, and we've got a really exciting program with boys water polo. We've got a lot of talent, we have a lot of fun, and we've had a lot of success the last couple of years. Won some tournaments, won a CIF championship, and just looking to continue all the good things we've been going, and we're definitely going to need some reinforcements from this incoming 8th freshman class, so hoping to talk to some of you guys tonight.
My name's Brendan. I'm the golf coach. We have never had a girls golf team, and next year will be our first. So I've been here for now this is 5 or 6 years. We won CIF titles with the boys side. We were co-ed, and now we're moving into just a girls only.
I'm Coach Mercedes. I'm varsity tennis coach, and I'm losing a lot of seniors this year. So come to tennis. We won league champs this season, so it's very exciting. And I look forward to meeting the newbies.
Hi, I'm Ty Smith. Moving forward, we're doing cross country. Right now, we're in the track season. We're losing quite a few seniors as well, so I could use some good fast runners out there. Hope to see you guys out there. Thanks.
Thank you, coaches. Appreciate you coming tonight and being a part of this. Next, I'd like to just bring up Andrea Hoff, Dana Moen, and John Goodman. If you come up here as well. This is the extension of our athletics department, and the secret sauce between the coaches and this team right here is really the engine that makes things happen. We have John Goodman, who's the secretary and assistant of the department. We have Andrea Hoff, who is our trainer, who is fantastic. We have Dana Moen here, of course, who's our principal, and is a big supporter and goes above and beyond to support what happens here, to make sure that he's involved. And so on behalf of the athletics team, we also have Alex Boshaw, who's our Dean of Students, who out of his own desire helps out as well. So when you're talking about and hearing the athletics department, this is really who it is right here, along with the coaches, and you'll hear from a couple of them more later, but give a big hand for it. Joanne, you can stay here. As I introduce Joanne, I just want to let you guys know, if you have not been involved in Classical Academy yet, if this is your first entrance in it, I just want to let you know you really are in a great place. Both academically, athletically, what's going on socially. I have 4 children who have attended Classical Academy, so just as a parent, I want to share with you that it's been a great experience. Athletics has been a big part of all my kids' involvement here, but really it's just been a piece of the puzzle, a piece of the pie for them. So we have been elated as parents, my wife and I, we have 2 kids in college right now. We're playing sports in college. We graduated. We have 2 kids here at Classical as well, and it's just been great. So I want to let you know that you're in a great spot where people care, where people want to try to do the best for your family and your children and your athletes. And we're full of imperfections and flaws, but we're also full of love and a desire to do our best to serve you guys. So you're in for a great experience here, and a big part of that in the athletics department is Joanne, who really handles so much, and she is a fantastic piece of the team, and she's going to cover some of the nuts and bolts with us. So pay attention, because there's some real important information here.
So much for coming out tonight. I know it takes up an evening, it's late, probably, rush down a quick dinner, so thank you. Before I get to the exciting nuts and bolts of athletics, I do want to say Marcus is our new athletic director. This is his first year, and he won't talk about himself, so I will. Well, he'll talk about himself, but I still. It has been the craziest sports year, and Marcus has jumped in, never having AD. He's been around sports forever, played sports, collegiate, and been around sports forever, but he jumped in. The main thing I appreciate about him, he hasn't lost his sense of humor all year, and it's been a stressful and hard one. So I appreciate teaming up with him. He's been great. He's a great leader. You'll learn that about him as hopefully we reach out to coaches first, but if it needs to go above that, it goes to AD. So anyways, I appreciate him so much. Thank you for everything. If you're a visual learner, I apologize because there's no overhead out here, so it's all going to be audible. So the first thing, we do have an app. It's pretty much where you'll find everything for our sports. It's canasports.com. You can download the app on your phones. You can go to it on a PC or Apple computer. The main thing you will find on there that I really want to emphasize is sports clearance link. So if you, top bar is each season of sport, and all the sports are broken down by season, but then there's a link that, or in the bar it says athletics department. You click on that, it'll go to a sports clearance link. So that's where everyone will need to complete a sports clearance before your season starts. So most of fall sports will be starting August 1st. So all of that will need to be done by then. Coaches will be checking that for the first day of practice. One form needs to be downloaded, or you can use a doctor's note. It doesn't have to be our form. It's the sports physical. So you can email that in to me, to athletics. All this information will be on there, so you don't have to remember this. But yeah, the sports physical does need to be turned in. Everything else is done digitally. So on that app, there is a news, so you'll click on the sport you're interested in. You can sign up for push notifications. I'll wait for that guy to go by. Sign up for push notifications so you get them on your phone if coach posts something. But in the news section is where everything will show up that your coach is posting. So specifically for you guys, since you will be on summer break when your season starts, again, August 1st-ish, the coaches will let you know when and where. You'll need to know those beginning of season announcements. So it will be posted on there. Also schedules, rosters, video, media is all on there. Now to complete the sports clearance, you'll have to be on a PC or Mac or on a computer. You can't do the sports clearance on the app. Okay, so that I think covers our website. Transfers is one thing that often falls through the cracks. We've added a couple places, even the QR codes are asking if you're a transfer. That only applies to 10th through 12th graders. So 10th, 11th, 12th graders, if you played a sport last year, then we need to know. So reach out to athletics again. You can email me. We need to process transfer paperwork through CIF. Okay, and last big one, academic eligibility. So to be eligible to play sports, you have to have a 2.0 or above. So how it works is, and this last year in the COVID and distance learning, CIF gave a grace period, kind of, it gets kind of technical, but it wasn't enforced, but it's reinstating this fall. So if you end the school year with below a 2.0, then you'll be on probation. So you're not ineligible yet. You have a quarter, it's like a warning, and we'll be sending letters out this summer about that. So you'll have a warning, you'll have 1 quarter to bring your grades up above a 2.0. And then if you do, you're off of probation, you're fine. If you don't, then you're ineligible by second quarter. So that's academic eligibility. All right, back to Marcus.
John? So I'm going to ask Mr. Moen to come up here in a moment. He's going to cover the Cayman Way, that are the elements that are up here right now. But I just want to say briefly something about it. These are our goals and standards, right? And do we live up to them every single practice, every single day? We probably fall short more often than we would like, but we need to have goals and standards. You guys get what I'm saying here? Right? And so these are kind of the ruler which we measure ourselves, our program, our school, individually, our athletes, and it's one of my favorite things about Classical Academy. I know when my first son was transferring, or I'm sorry, not transferring, but transitioning into high school, he wanted to play football. We weren't certain that we wanted him to play football. He was a soccer kid and was probably going to stay there. And my wife and I went to the first Cayman Way with a football coach, was sharing a little bit about the Cayman Way. And after we heard really what the program was about, what the athletics department was about, my wife, who I thought would be the biggest resistor to my son playing football, was the first one that said, I want my son, we want our son in this program because of the principles that we adhere to and the principles that drive us. And speaking of those principles, let's give it up for Dana Mohan, our principal, who supports this so
Thank you, Marcus. How many of you guys are new to Classical Academy High School, coming into the high school first time? Thank you guys for being here tonight. I assume the rest of you guys have probably played a sport, maybe you've been to Cayman Way before. Thank you for being here anyway. You might hear some of the same messages, but that's okay. We're talking to ourselves also. I see all the coaches are here tonight. We're all learning the Cayman Way together. We don't have it perfect, but we're still striving towards that. I just want to quickly share, and I don't know if I can do it over that or not, we're recording this, but I want to quickly share why I believe sports are so important. They impacted my life, they impacted the rest of my life. I ended up playing 4 sports in high school over at Escondido High School. Without that experience, I would not be who I am today. I firmly believe that sports, you should build friendships, you should get physically fit, fitness, and you should have fun. I've heard the word fun come out of all the coaches tonight in the AD. That shouldn't just be this year, coaches, that should be every year. I think sports need to be about fun, fitness, friendships. But more than that, and this is what I want to talk about, is our core values. Because without sports, I wouldn't have the identity and the core values that I do today. So it was our football coach, John Goodman, that came up with these for us, the names and the terminology, and now we use it for everything we do at Classical Academy. So the first one's work hard. Give everything you have and everything you do, not just your sport, but also your academics, also your relationships. I heard one professional athlete said the prize is right there on the shelf, and the price tag is all of yourself. If you pay all of yourself, you can get that goal. You can achieve that goal. I like to say, if you give everything, you've already won. If you go after it and give your all, you've already won. You can't lose. Second one is live pure. And what we mean by that is what you're taking in your eyes, your ears, your mouth, your body. Whatever comes in your life is going to come back out of your life. So when we say live pure, that means put pure things inside your body, because if you put pure things in, you're going to have the ultimate best performance on the field, in your relationships, in the classroom, and in life. Work hard, live pure, lead with courage. We're all leading somebody. Leadership is influence. You're all influencing somebody. And we want to teach you to lead with courage. And courage is doing the right thing. The right thing is usually the hardest thing to do. It takes courage to do the right thing over and over and over again. And we learn that through sports. This is one way we can learn to lead with courage. And the last one that I'll end on, and all these values I learned through sports, our coaches are learning, our players are learning, is to honor each other. I think this is more important than ever in the society we live in. I notice, like, we're coming in today, we're wearing masks. Most of us don't like wearing masks, but we're honoring each other because that happens to be the rule right now. I think it's going to change real soon, by the way. And we get excited, but we honor each other. Regardless if you have the same belief system, you live differently, you look differently, we're honoring each other. And in sports, that starts with our team, that starts with our coaches, but that also extends to the referees. That also extends to the umpire. They're going to get some wrong, they're going to get some right, but that's somebody's father, brother, sister, son, daughter. We're going to honor those people. And it extends to the other team. The other team is not our enemy, they're our opponent, and they're our friends, and they're our family members, they're our community members. So work hard, live pure, lead with courage, 3, and honor each other. Those are our 4 Cayman values, and that's why we do sports. Thank you guys.
Dana, thank you so much for sharing, and as you guys can get a gist of his passion and his commitment to sports, and we are really, let me tell you, really fortunate to have a leader like Dana, where that's not just words coming out of his mouth, but you will see him after hours, after a long day, cheering on different teams, different sports, encourage them, getting to know the kids. And so, Dana, thank you for your support and your leadership, man. Seriously, you're amazing. This would be happening. Thank you so much. I'm going to cover now the roles of the parents, of the teacher, the coaches, of the players, and of the parents as well. And for me, you guys, I played sports all my life, and sports was huge opportunity for me. Made my greatest relationships playing sports, greatest memories. Played all kinds of sports in high school. Was fortunate enough to play sports in college, and I played football at San Diego State and paid for my business degree, and great experiences, and met my wife in college as well when I was there. So sports has opened up so many opportunities for me, and that's one of the reasons why I'm so passionate about sports as well, is because of the value that it's added to my life. And when I talk about that, it's not the value in the wins or the losses. It's not the value in championships. How many I won? I didn't win many championships, so that's probably why they wasn't that valuable. But I guess. But the value really is in the experiences and the relationships. And I've been around sports all my life, and I've never, when I came here and my children, I was like, okay, I want them to have these great experiences as well. But I've never been around a program, and this didn't come from me. I've just get a part to really now carry the torch, to be part of a program where this stuff is spoken. And not only is it spoken and highlighted, that it's really true. And as a father that has 4 children here, this is fantastic. And for us to hold ourselves to these standards, it's why I love sports here. It's why I can't wait for my kids to play, for my kids' friends to play. Than me telling the whole community that I know about Classical Academy, because I've never been around a sports program where the focus was this. It's always been winning, and I like to win. I don't like when my 13-year-old Marco beats me in chess, right? I want to beat him. But you know what? As much as I like winning, yes, he does beat me in chess. I see that you're kind of like, he's smarter than me. I beat him in arm wrestling, though, in case you're wondering. And so we like to win. Who doesn't like to win? But really the way we go about winning, you guys, is really by following these principles. And we believe if we do these principles, right, and we all hold each other accountable for these principles, then that's going to yield the results that we want. That's going to yield the championships, the league championships, the CIF championships. It's really by doing this, not by trying to find the hotshot athlete, not by trying to find the hotshot coach, not by trying to find how are we going to win this game at any cost. That is not the philosophy here. This is our philosophy, and this is what makes us different. And you know what? That will yield championships. That will yield success. But really, by doing that, that's really winning in life, right? And so if we can do this, and your student athletes can adhere to this and learn this, then 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road, like Coach John Goodman used to say, in their marriages and in their careers, as parents, if you're doing this, your life is changed. So when it's here, the focus is not the championship, guys, and we want them. Really the focus is how can we use these principles to shape and change kids, and also how can we adhere to them too, because we believe that's winning in life. So just as a father who's been here, I love these principles, and like I said, there are standards. We fall short here and there, more often than we'd like, but this is really what guides us and what we shoot for. Now it's some different roles. Now I want to talk to the players right now. If you're an athlete, eyes up here, please. If you're going to be coming playing sports, so just eyes up here. Here's your role, right? It's pretty simple. One is to follow this Cayman way. Okay, guys? So if you do this, that's what we want from you, right? We will hold you accountable for that. We want you to work hard, live pure, lead with courage, and honor your teammates and honor your school. That's your number one principle, right? Also, academics. Because if you don't do well academically, or if you don't meet the standards academically, you won't play. You just won't play, and you're going to miss out on this great opportunity. It's nothing personal, but you've got to take care of your academics. Do you guys understand that? Great, great. So academics are very important. Here's the last one too. Very important. Very important. Have fun. Have fun. These years of your life, you know what? You're not going to get them back. And make great memories. And make great relationships. And have a good time on the field and in practice. It's very important, you know, that you enjoy this aspect of your life. And we want you guys to have fun. The right way with the right principles. But student athletes, those are the things that we want from you, that will hold you accountable. Take care of business in the classroom. Really, really follow the Cayman way and enjoy it. That's what we ask of you. Now I'll chat real quick to the coaches. You know, the coaches will clearly communicate as well as embracing the Cayman way, of course, right? We want the coaches, and you can expect from them to adhere to this as well. And if they're not, hey, it's a great opportunity to set up a meeting, chat with the coach, and say, hey, I'd like to chat with you about some observations I'm making. We're all for feedback, right? And so for the coaches, you know what? Model the Cayman way, as well as communication. You know, it's a lot easier on the parents and on the student athletes when the coaches are communicating. Most of our coaches communicate weekly via email or the Cayman app, and we just got through meeting with other coaches where there's a commitment from every week. You get a good communication, a review and an update of what's coming. A lot of the coaches will do that via the app. Some of them do it via the app as well as an email. But for sure via the app. So I encourage all the parents here and all the students here, make sure you download the app. You download the app, that'll be the main way of communication. But the coaches will also communicate clearly with you. That's what you can expect from the coaches. As well as, you know what, prioritize safety for the student athletes. You know, if the championship's on the line and little Johnny or little Susie has a concussion and she hasn't been cleared, they're not going in, right? Or if they have an ankle that they simply can't go on, we're not going to jeopardize your student athlete's health for the sake of a win or sake of reps or a championship. So we will prioritize the health of your student athlete, and those are the things that you can expect from your coaches. Now parents, a couple things. Number one, enjoy it. Enjoy watching the game, right? You don't get too many of these guys. You don't get too many Friday nights. You don't get too many Thursday nights. You don't get too many Tuesday nights when you're there enjoying your kids. Now, just kind of some words to the wise is your kids have coaches. Your kids have coaches. Listen, parents, this is really important. Your kids have coaches. And coaches play their role. Your kids probably need a mom and dad. I wouldn't say probably. Your kids for sure need a mom and dad before they need a coach. So since we've already provided the coaches, and the coaches can't be the mom and dad, there's only one person that can fulfill that role in their life, and it's you. So I would say focus on being their mom and dad. Focus on being their fan. Focus on being their supporter, right? And let the coaches coach. So have a good time, go there, support, encourage them, you know, behave responsibly, you know, and model good behavior, and get involved. So many ways to get involved here. One is to see if you can, you know, help out with the end of your banquet, see if maybe, you know, every coach needs help. I can't emphasize this enough. Every coach needs some sort of help. So if you're good with administration, you want to tell the coach, Coach, I'm great with administration. You know what, if you've got a van, a minivan, or you're great with organization, say, hey coach, if you need help with rides, you know what, I can help out. Hey, if you have a knack for fundraising, hey, tell the coach, you know what, hey, I put together events and something of that nature, because really the whole team will be better if we kind of use the collective IQ, if we use the collective resources of the parents as well. So those are the ways that can really add value and get involved and be helpful. So I encourage you. You know, and if you want to coach, you can. Come talk to us. We have opportunities to coach, and then on the field, you can coach. Otherwise, I really encourage you as parents, focus on being parents, focus on being supporting your kids, because really that's such an important role. And really, if they win or lose that game, what's more important is really your relationship, that you love to them and supporting them. So I just encourage you to do that. Now, some quick do's and don'ts. on communication with parents and coaches and kids with coaches. These are kind of like tough things to talk about, but we really want to address them. And here's some do's. Here are things that you're always welcome to communicate with the coaches about. So I want you guys as parents and students to listen to this clearly, because later on in the year, you may want to chat with me about this, and I'll refer to, hey, remember when we chatted about this? And we will hold each other responsible for these things. Here are the do's. The treatment of your players. Absolutely. Communicate with your coaches about how your players are being treated. And the way we handle it here, first, before you jump to myself or Mr. Moen or anybody else, we ask you first chat with the coaches. Because if you don't chat with the coaches, it doesn't give them an opportunity to make an adjustment, because they could be completely unaware of it, right? There's different styles with different coaches. Are you guys with me? Right? And some coaches will yell. Why? Because there's 1,000 people in the stands, and you know what? It's very important for that play for them to understand, and all we see is a crazy coach yelling, throwing his hat. Well, chat with that coach, and maybe after the conversation, yeah, that was probably good that you were yelling. Or maybe after the conversation, the coach is like, I didn't know how my behavior was making your student athlete feel. So first, talk to the coaches. I encourage you, parents, as well, when you start hearing complaints from your children, I encourage you, have them talk to the coach. It's a great opportunity for them to grow as young adults, right? Now, we're not talking about severe situations. Are you guys following me? Anything that's behavior that needs to come to our attention with safety or toxic behavior, no, come to me right away. But we're talking about disagreements, misunderstandings, or things you need to clarify. I encourage you as parents, have your students talk to the coach. And if the coach doesn't receive that, you know what? Make a time to chat with the coach and say you'd like to chat with them about it. Now, be strategic about it. During the game, not a good time, right? So maybe send in preemptive email, or maybe after a game mention, hey coach, I'd love to connect with you sometime, right? And then set that time up. So generally, ask your students to connect with the coach. So it's a great time for them to become young adults. If that doesn't work, you know what? Feel free to chat with the coach. Like I said, how they're being treated, absolutely. Ways to help, right? Maybe little Johnny, you need some help with them with school. You want the coach to lean on them a little bit. Or you notice that, wow, you know what? They're really not progressing in a certain area. You know what? And you want to chat with the coach on how you can be helpful in that. Then please, by all means, chat with the coach about that. Also, behavior concerns. A big do. A behavior concern, maybe how your student athlete is behaving, how the coach is behaving, right? If there's behavior concerns, chat with the coach about that. We don't have perfect coaches. We don't have the perfect staff right now, but you know what? They get evaluated. We do hear your concerns, but we want to give them an opportunity really to hear, because once again, the different behaviors causes different responses in different people, and so we think it's fair for you at least to bring it up to the coach. But once again, we're not talking about toxic or unsafe behavior. Is this making sense, families? Great. Now here's some don'ts. All those are do's, right? Treatment, ways to help, and behavior concerns. Here's some don'ts, and I know this is a big one. Playing time, right? I'm not saying the coach is making every right decision, but the coach has the right to make that decision, because they're the ones who have no idea the inordinate amount of hours that they prep for film, watching, going to see other schools, preparing, and trying to maximize what they have. So playing time is not fair game to talk to the coaches about. Now, if you're a student athlete and you would like more playing time, let me give you a clue, right? Go to coach and say, Coach, I would like to know what I need to do to earn more playing time. Kids, did you hear that? Parents, I want you to hear this. And coach your kids on this. Coach, I would like to know what I can do to earn more playing time. I can't tell you one coach that doesn't want to hear that. I can't tell you one coach that won't go, you know what, Johnny, let's sit down and let's identify the things that you need to do, because the coaches don't have vendettas against your children, and really what they're doing is really a labor of love. And so if it comes to playing time, you know what, that's not fair game to talk to the coaches about. That is them to decide, to maximize, and there's 1,000 things going on. There's effort, there's aptitude, there's the game plan for that day, there's the school, there's the fit, there's the, maybe they're trying to try a new position, you don't know. But kids, if you notice that, hey, you'd like to earn more playing time, definitely chat with the coaches. Now, sometime during the season, I think one of you guys is going to want to talk to me about your kids' playing time. And what I'm going to say is, we're not going to talk about playing time. So just prep yourselves for that conversation if it comes, but I will let you know, hey, why don't you ask your student to say, hey, talk to the coach, and can you identify what I need to do to earn more playing time? That is definitely something worth discussing. Also, we're not going to discuss other kids' involvement, like, well, why is Johnny playing because my son Billy's much better? Or why is Susie playing because she wasn't here last week? Or why is Steve playing and my son isn't playing? We simply have instructed our coaches not to engage in that conversation. Now, if you would like to have some leverage there, coach. Simple solution. Put in your time, put in an application, right? Let's interview you. And if you want to coach, wow, we would love some help coaching. So you do have a voice in playing time if you coach. Otherwise, that's left up to the coaches for them to handle. Now, real quick on fundraising, some cool things this year. Our fearless leader has set aside an opportunity and funds for every varsity team to get brand new Nike uniforms on all teams, girls soccer, boys football, and so that is a huge deal. So we're excited about that. We made a great relationship with the nation's biggest outfitters of athletics and uniforms. We're going to be officially Nike School moving forward, so we're elated to do that. Now, there are some fundraising things that are coming. Fortunately, we don't have to fundraise for our uniforms because we're able to do that, provide that this year. But every team will have an individual fundraiser. And so we ask for a donation at different levels for every team. Let me be clear, as I'm closing up, this is not mandatory. Let me be also clear that if you can do it, we strongly encourage you. There's no punitive responses if you can't do it. Does that make sense, guys? But really, things get tight here and there, and the donation that you give just helps continue to fund the amazing things that go on here, from the uniforms to the equipment to the coach's stipend to traveling to all kinds of things that we invest financially into your student athletes. And so every sport has a donation requested. We encourage you to participate if you can. If you can't, there's no punitive action. There's also the new relationship we have has some stores, some team sports stores that you can purchase and also raise some money as well. And different programs have different fundraising events within the umbrella of that program. We're working on doing a large fundraising event here coming next year. But as far as this year goes, there's plenty of ways to do that. As well as if you have a business or one of your businesses that maybe you work at or wants to advertise on our app as well. We'll talk more about that. You'll get emails. There's a great chance to advertise on our app. You know, it's an app that's used all day long from every sport and every coach. So you do get your bang for your buck there. But that's some ways that we can fundraise and help support what's going on here. So thank you guys for paying attention. Enough of me. I'm gonna bring Joanne to kind of talk about how we wrap this up and where we go from here.
Totally biased plug. Our girls soccer team just won their second CF playoff game. Like literally 5 minutes ago. And we both have kids on the team, so very fun. All right, wrapping up, we're meeting by each sport in a different location. Football will stay here. If you don't know where Cayman Hall, it is on the other side of this wall, big auditorium. Cross country will be in there with Coach Ty. Steady Hall, if you go walk right out the way you came in, take your second left down the hallway, it ends in Steady Hall. So girls volleyball will be in there. And then the main hallway that you came in, if you're walking out of the school, they'll be on the right. The 3 classrooms in the main hallway on the right. Boys water polo will be in room 101. Girls tennis will be in 102. Girls golf will be in 103. And unfortunately, boys beach volleyball won't be able to meet tonight. So I'm sorry if you were here for boys beach volleyball. But he will be reaching out. His QR code is up here. So if you scan that, he'll have your contact info. He'll be reaching out. If you need to scan a QR code on your way in, just scan that on your way. It's just collecting your contact info so coaches can be reaching out to you. And then this has been recorded, so we'll be thank you, Joel Williams. And we will be posting that tomorrow with a recap of all the links and what I was talking about, what Marcus has been talking about, will be posted on kingdomsports.com. Okay? We'll be hanging around here if you have any questions, but otherwise you are dismissed to go to your sports-specific locations.